Hey guys, Kevin Gusmer for Awkward, Season 5, Episode 4, Now You See Me, Now I Don't, and that is how you do a quality episode of Awkward. I mean, last week's episode was really good. I didn't hate it by any means. I thought it was an okay episode, but this is more of what I want from Awkward. I mean, this honestly might be one of my favorite episodes of Awkward of all time. By far the best episode of the season. I absolutely loved it, and the message I found in this episode I found to be one of the most relatable episodes I think Awkward has ever done, just because the message of this episode. It's something that I thought was very important, and I thought they tackled it very, very well. But let's just get into this episode, because I thought it was very good, and it really shows how much Jenna has changed the character, how much Sadie has changed the character, just how much all of these characters have changed, and that's something I thought was very well done. So, we start off with Jenna, now that she's no longer popular, she's kind of trying to figure out who she wants to be. Does she want to be cool Jenna, or does she just want to be plain Jenna, which Lacey is what she says Jenna is. Basically, what's going on with Lacey is that there is this, basically, like, showcase for moms to imitate their daughters, who are seniors, and I think that's pretty fun. I don't know if my school does something like that, but that'd be pretty cool if they did. But basically, Lacey plans on imitating Jenna, and she's wearing, like, clothes that Jenna probably wouldn't really wear anymore, and she tells Jenna to try something different, not just wear what she usually wears. Try something a little bit different. If she wants to be, different, then wear something different. So she gives her that tank top that she wore in the last episode, and I thought that was very interesting. So Tamara and her talk about how much, she's changed and how she really likes it. And Tamara is very conflicted right now because she obviously is engaged to Adam, which we really get into in this episode. This is probably the episode this season that we've had the most focus on with Tamara and Adam's relationship. Basically, Tamara, of course, is very conflicted because she really likes Adam, but she knows that she doesn't really want to marry him, so she plans on breaking up with him, but she doesn't really know how this is going to work and if it's going to work, and Jenna's just telling her to tell him the truth and be honest with him, and I agree. If she really cares about him, she needs to be honest with him, because that's what someone wants, She needs to do this in a mature way. She needs to do this in a way where he knows that she does care about him, but that she just doesn't want to get married now. Maybe she can date him. Maybe she can be like, hey, I really like you, but we just can't be together right now. I mean, she has a lot of options, definitely. Definitely what she does in this episode is not one of those options. I'll get into that, but, basically, then we see Theo and Cole are handing out yearbooks for everyone, and Tamara says hers has been covered with all kinds of stuff, and she's been considered. Let's see, what are some of the super superlatives? I can't think of really what she said. But Jenna is basically, she's very interested in seeing what hers is. She thinks she might get most changed since freshman year or something like that. But she ends up getting most depressing. That's what she ends up getting. And she's very upset about that because she's changed so much. And she's not like that anymore. She's a very different person right now. And she doesn't want to be considered depressing. So she sees Kyle and Matty, and she thinks this is a very awkward friendship. But I really like Kyle and Matty. I like how Kyle, despite Matty not really being popular, he's trying to be a friend to Matty, and it seems like he genuinely cares about him. I really enjoy this friendship, definitely. And I like seeing how much Matty's changed as a character. And you see how Matty plans on signing Jenna's yearbook, and Jenna signs Matty's, of course, and that's basically how that goes. So that's basically what happens there. So after this happens, we see Darlene again. We see a lot more Darlene and stuff, so which I was very happy about. Basically, Allie is planning on being Sadie's, doing Sadie's thing for the showcase, basically. But Darlene wants to do it because she wants to be there for Sadie, and I was happy that she did that. Again, she's really trying to make that effort, improving to Sadie that, look, you can trust me. Again, I haven't been there for you, but I want to be there for you. I thought it was a very sweet moment, and it's just, I really love what they're doing with Darlene as a character. Again, she's not a character we've seen a lot of, and especially because this might be the last season, they're really utilizing Sadie as a character very well, and I really like what they're doing with her and her mom. Definitely, it's one of my favorite parts of this season. So Matty tells Jenna he wants to take her yearbook, so she thinks that he plans on writing something very heartfelt and something very long. They're seniors, so you would think that he writes something very, very meaningful. And I mean, when you're a senior, that's probably the best time to get a yearbook. Don't be like me, who gets a yearbook every year. I don't know why I do that, but I do. I don't know. I guess just sentimentality or something. I do that. But basically, that's what he does there. But we also see that Jake and Matty are in the yearbook as most likely to remain friends. And obviously, we know that they fucking hate each other right now. They want nothing to do with each other. And it really shows how different directions, the different directions that these two are going in. I mean, there's a poster, and they rip it down, and Matty says he wants nothing to do with Jake, that he now has Gabby's army, basically, and that Jake is with Gabby, and that's who he's with. And Kyle comes to defend Matty, and I like how he's kind of trying to be a bodyguard for Matty, but I do think that Kyle needs to kind of back off a bit, or else he's going to make Matty look like a pussy, and that's going to end up really bad for Matty and Jake. I honestly thought they were going to get into a huge fight here. They don't. Kyle does get Matty away from it, but you can definitely tell that things are definitely not good between Matty and Jake, and probably I don't think they ever will be again. I really don't think they're going to solve this. I really don't think they're going to be able to move past this. They don't have much time left, and I could see them making up here and there, but they're never going to get back to that friendship that they had. I just don't really see that happening, so I don't see it going well for Matty and Jake. So Jenna comes home, and Lacey plans on basically showing her what she's doing, and she has the French braid that Jenna had in the first 3 seasons, before she turned into, that, junkie, basically, before she did that, and was with Colin and everything. She has that French braid, and Jenna's really upset because, again, that's really not who she is right now. And we get into this whole thing, which I thought was really funny, where she talks about how she's been known as the most depressing, and Lacey's telling her to not worry about it. But then Lacey and Allie remember this guy who was a football player who apparently died, and they're really upset about it. And basically they say that maybe these things actually predict the future, and that they're actually a crystal ball, and this really scares Jen because she's afraid she's going to go back to this. And I really like seeing this, definitely. I mean, especially with her trying to not be most depressing. It really goes with how I feel about myself. I mean, I think, I've changed so much since my freshman year. You guys can even see, on YouTube, watch my videos freshman year. They're horrible. I wasn't very confident. I acted confident, pretty much. I pretty much acted confident. Now I just am confident. I acted confident. I would say I was even overconfident, really. I would say I was very dramatic. I took things way too seriously, and that really does go with a scene we get in this episode, which might be one of my favorite scenes I think we've seen in the entire show, honestly, just in general. And then we get one of the funniest plot twists I think we've seen in a very long time, and I love this. I thought this was hilarious. Basically, we see that it looks like Val is back, but it's actually Lissa. Yes, Lissa is now the guidance counselor. And how does this happen? Because she came down to Val's office thinking Val was back, and people thought she was the new guidance counselor, so she's basically just going along with it. And the advice that she's giving them is just priceless. She's telling them, oh, go masturbate, go have sex with your brother. She's basically giving them the worst advice possible. It's very funny, but I think she's actually doing a pretty good job, I have to say. It's really funny to watch, and if this sticks around for the rest of the season, that's going to be very funny, and I definitely really like seeing Lissa like this. It definitely seemed, but it still seemed like her story arc was pointless last week. It really seemed like that. This is more of what I want from Lissa. Lissa's not a character that I feel needs a big story arc. We had that great story arc with her and her dad and everything. That was really good, but at least utilizing Lissa as a character, giving her stuff to do. I'm fine that they're still giving Lissa stuff to do, and this is more of what I want to see her do, because this is more Lissa in her element, and it's very, very funny, so I really like that. So, Sadie and Darlene are having a conversation. She really wants to help her out and everything. It's a very sweet scene. I like seeing Sadie and Darlene interact. Definitely, it's something I really like seeing, is her helping them out. And basically, then we see Jenna and Tamara, basically. They're having a conversation about what's going on with Adam, and Adam actually comes to pick up Tamara, telling her that he's going to bring her back to his place, and she plans on breaking up with him. That's her plan. She wants to break up with him, because obviously Jenna's telling her that's probably the right thing to do, and that she should just let him down easily, which again, I think is a good idea in the long run, but it's just not going to end well for really anyone, so you can see that that might not be the one thing on her mind right now. So Jenna looks back at Matty's yearbook signature The thing is, though, he only writes, "You're cool." That's all he wrote. He barely wrote anything, really, and you can just see the state that Matty's in. He's not in a very mature state right now. He's very out of his element, and it's just "you're cool." It's like the most generic thing you could put, and she's pretty pissed about it. I mean, at least he put something. That's what I'm gonna say. At least he took the effort to put something down. He could have easily said no, and he did put something down. I thought it was cool he did that, but I think it's just the state that he's in. He just doesn't really want to say a lot. I think that really is what it's coming down to. So then we get what is, in my opinion, I think one of the best scenes we've seen in this show. I absolutely love this scene, and especially someone like me, like I said, who could really relate to this episode, I really did love what we saw here, because we see that, like I said, Lacey is just completely season 1, season 2 Jenna. You know, she's wearing the French braid. She's wearing clothes that Jenna would wear. She's even and then it really gets bad when she has the arm brace that Jenna had when she in seasons 1 and 2, of course, you know, for the first episode when people thought she tried to kill herself, that whole situation. And Jenna's obviously really pissed about it. You know, she doesn't want people to think her this way. She doesn't want people to think she's most depressing. You know, she doesn't want to go out that way. She wants to be remembered a different way than she is, and she doesn't want to be remembered as depressing. That's just not what she wants. And she's obviously freaking out about it, but I love what Lacey tells her, because I think just in general, that's the real message of this episode. And she tells her to not take everything so seriously, and that this is just a joke, and that she should have fun with it. And Lacey is actually hurt. I don't think we've ever seen Lacey. Actually, we have seen Lacey very hurt. If you remember in season 2, there was an episode where Lacey got really hurt and everything. And I like seeing Lacey getting hurt. I mean, Lacey's such an easygoing mom that to see her really upset, it's so hard to watch. And it was an incredible scene, though, because you just see how much Jenna has changed and how much she doesn't want to be remembered this way. But Lacey's telling her, you know, just don't take it so seriously, because it's just something fun. It's not supposed to be something that, you know, this is exactly how you're going to go out. Everyone's going to remember you that way. That's not what she's trying to do here. She's just trying to embrace it and joke around about it. And that's something I thought was very interesting. So Jenna is really worried that Lacey is really going to make a spectacle of herself and really make Jenna feel really bad that she said this to her, and it's just not going to end well. So Matty and Kyle decide to hang out somewhere. I couldn't really tell what was going on in that scene, but you see that Kyle really is caring about Matty, so I like seeing their bonding overall. And then we see that it's time for the showcase, basically. Lissa announces the people for the showcase, and we first see what looks like it's going to be the Julies, which is very funny. It looked like the Julie's mother. I thought that was definitely very funny. I personally really enjoyed that. That was definitely something I thought was very funny. But then things got really touching when we saw Darlene, and I thought it was really great what Darlene did, because as we know, Darlene hasn't been there for Sadie. She hasn't been there for Sadie, and obviously Sadie has wanted her to be there, and this just proves how serious Darlene is in reconnecting with her. I mean, if there was any collateral that proved that she really wants to connect with Sadie, and that she actually cares about her, and that she wants to make up for all those times she wasn't there for her, and that she called her fat, and that she was just rude to her. This was the scene, and I loved it. She has Sadie down perfectly. You know, she has the insulting Sadie. She even does a "you're welcome" at the end, which Sadie has not said "you're welcome" in so long, and I don't know why, but I guess it's just because Sadie's trying to abandon an image of herself, because, you know, Sergio told her to not be a bitch, basically, and I love Sadie's response when she said, "That's not me at all." I thought that was very funny, and it's also very realistic, because I think when someone sees themselves in a mean way, they don't think they're that way. It's very funny, and I definitely really enjoyed that, and it was very sweet that Darlene did that for Sadie. You really saw how much she wanted to help out Sadie, and I thought overall it was a really, really great scene. In the meantime, though, things get really crazy with Tamara and Adam here, because as I said, all Tamara has to do here is break up with Adam. That's all she really has to do. The complete opposite ends up happening. She goes with Adam, and Adam is talking about how he knows that she probably doesn't really, you know, that she doesn't want this. You think that he's going to break up with her, but that's not what he plans on doing. He actually wants to make it official. He buys her an actual engagement ring, asks her to officially marry him, and obviously Tamara says yes, because she just can't say no, and it's a very, very powerful scene. I was surprised that that happened, but yeah, Tamara did the exact opposite of what she should have done, and now she's got herself in even more of a predicament, because now she's actually going to marry Adam. This is actually happening now, and she can't get out of this, and I think she wants to get out of this. But then there's a part of me that thinks Tamara actually does want this. And maybe it's because we don't really know what Tamara wants to do after high school. It doesn't seem like she's really focused on college or something. So maybe she just wants to be with Adam. Maybe she just wants to do something after high school, and she just feels that maybe marrying Adam and having someone there after high school and, not feeling isolated from everyone, maybe that's the way to go. That it really is what I feel she's feeling. Because a lot of people have been wondering, why is Tamara going with this? That's really what I think is going on, because have we once heard Tamara say, oh, I'm going to this college? Have we once heard her say, I've, applied to this college? We've never heard her say that. All season, she has not taken senior year seriously at all, which is not surprising. This is Tamara we're talking about. But I do find it very interesting that she wants to marry Adam so badly, and I think it's just because she wants someone in her life. She knows that her and Jenna are probably going to depart, and that they're not going to have, their friendship is not going to be as strong. It's not going to be Matty and Jake, obviously. They're like the worst, in the worst position right now, but they're not going to be as strong, and they're going to lose touch, and I really feel Tamara just really wants someone in her life, and I think that's really is compelling, honestly. I mean, Tamara is a character that, yeah, she is very funny, but I like it when they do serious stuff with her, and it really seems like they're going in a more serious direction with the storyline, which I definitely really like, and I think they're doing a very good job with it. So I definitely really like seeing that, and that scene by far, I thought was one of the highlights of the episode, definitely. Really went with the theme of well, not necessarily the theme, but it went very well with what they were trying to show. So then we get Lacey's turn at the showcase, and obviously Jenna's really worried that Lacey is going to make a big fool out of herself and that she's going to embarrass Jenna, but that's not what she does. She actually talks about how Jenna was, she tries to get Jenna to just laugh about the fact that, yeah, she was once known as the suicide girl, and that she was once known as this depressing girl, but she's not that way anymore, and that very much applies to me. I mean, me personally, like I said, I took myself way too seriously, like freshman year and things like that. And the best thing to do is to laugh about it. And that's exactly what Jenna does. She gets on the stage, she starts laughing about the worst times in her life. It's a very great scene for Jenna. It's a lot of character development. It really shows how much development Jenna's gone through. I mean, Jenna would not have done that like 2 seasons ago. She would have been pissed off at Lacey. She would have screamed at her. She would have had a whole conniption over it. And now Jenna's realizing, you know what, this isn't a big deal. This really isn't. Everyone's willing to make fun of themselves. Why not me? Why not I just make fun of myself? And I thought that was very good that she did that. I definitely really enjoyed that. And I thought it was a very great scene, and especially the fact that, it really shows, they said everything that Jenna's been through, her going through being, just Maddie's Maddie's girlfriend. That's all she was, just Maddie's girlfriend. And then she was this, junkie with Colin. She got into those really bad drugs and everything. And then she was kind of in the period of finding herself. And now she's just a normal girl. That really is what she is. And I think that really, is the thing that classifies Jenna the best, is that I think Jenna realizes that she's just normal now. That's all she is. She's normal. She might not be a certain way, but that's just who she is. She's just Jenna. That's who she is. She's Jenna Hamilton. She can't change that. And I thought that was very great, and I definitely really enjoyed that scene. Very, very powerful stuff, definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I love Awkward. People ask me, why do you love Awkward so much? That's one of the reasons why. It's definitely a scene like that I thought was very powerful, and I definitely really love that. So Sadie obviously is very happy that Darlene did this for her and that she got this down perfectly. And of course she wants to know, how did Darlene know this? And Allie, tries to make it all about her, of course, which is, that's typical of Allie to do. But Darlene says how she observed Sadie and how she tried to remember her and that she tried to embody her as best as she can. It's just such a nice scene, and just seeing that they're in that place where they are going to reconnect. They most likely are going to patch things up. It's very sweet. I really like seeing that, and it's definitely one of my favorite things they're doing this season. I mean, they've taken Darlene from being this really hated character to being a lot more loving, and I really love that. I think they're doing a very good job with that, and that's something I'm definitely really enjoying. So the end of the episode, Jenna decides to Skype Tamara because she obviously wants to know how things went with Adam, and Tamara's telling her how she just, that Adam officially proposed and that they're officially getting married, and Jenna obviously is like, what the hell did you just do? Why are you doing this? This is a huge mistake and everything, and that this is terrible that you did this. But then there's really no time for this because then Matty comes up, and you think she's gonna get pissed at Matt. You think that's what she's gonna do, but she actually is happy that Matt did this, because he actually took the time to write something in her yearbook, and that he actually did care about her, and that he sees her, and, she asked him, what do you see, what do you see us as? And he says, she's his best friend, and that's who she really is, and I think that was really sweet, and I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is gonna be the season where Jen and Maggie get together. I wouldn't say that. I honestly wouldn't say that. I mean, maybe that could happen, but at this particular point, I don't know. I think Jen and Maddie are kind of at a point where maybe they should just be friends, because maybe being a couple is just too much pressure for them, and I'd like to see them as friends. I like them as friends. I like seeing Maddie support Jenna, and when Jen and Maddie are happy, that's when we are happy. I thought that was very great, and the episode ends, with Sadie and Jenna, not Sadie, Lacey and Jenna leave, and Jenna thanks Lacey, and that's basically how the episode ends, and I thought this was probably, like I said, one of the best episodes Awkward has ever done. It was such a serious subject, and I really felt they touched upon it in a very, very realistic way. I mean, Awkward, no, it's not the most realistic show, but they handled it very, very well, and especially for people who are trying to find themselves, things like that, I think this was a very, very powerful episode, and I definitely really loved it. Now, like I said, let's talk a little bit about Tamara and Adam. Like I said, I really feel Tamara's in this process right now where she wants someone in her life, she wants to be with someone, and that's why she is with Adam. She doesn't really know where to go after high school, and that's where she's going. And plus, Adam seems to really care about her. The only thing is, this could go really horribly wrong, and I really feel that the second half of the season, maybe she is getting married, but I really feel they're going to take this in a very, dangerous situation, God forbid, Adam could end up, getting shot in war or something. We know he's going off to war in a few months. He could get killed in war. He could get shot in war. And I really feel that Tamara needs that reality check to see that, holy shit, what the fuck have I done with my life? She kind of has done nothing. Even though Tamara is, like I said, a fun character, they're really treating this, and I think in a very serious way, and I definitely really enjoy the way they're handling that. Can we please have Lissa as the guidance counselor for the rest of the season? She is so funny. It's great to see. I love what they're doing with that. I love seeing Sadie and Darlene reconnect. It's very sweet to watch. I definitely really enjoyed that. And also, Allie messing with Sadie about Sergio, I thought that was very funny as well. I like that Allie is there for Lacey, trying to help Lacey going through her pregnancy, of course. I thought that was very funny. But I also like, the thing I like seeing the most about this episode, like I said, is just Jenna embracing that she has changed, and that she is just a normal person, and that she needs to laugh at the flaws, not ridicule herself for it, but laugh at those. Those who are not willing to laugh are scared of who they are, and I think really, even though it seems hard, you just gotta try to laugh at yourself. You gotta try to say, you know what, that was then, this is now, that's not who I am anymore. I thought it was very powerful, and they really handled it in a very good direction. Do you think that Jen and Matty are going to get back together? I really don't know. Oh, let's talk about Jake and Matty as well. Are Jake and Matty ever going to repair things? I really don't know at this point. I mean, obviously, Jake and Gabby seem like they're together. It seems like they're pretty tight. Matty obviously wants nothing to do with Jake right now, so I really don't see things going well for them. Maybe not even until graduation. They might not even be the same. Like I said, I don't think they're ever going to be the same, but I think they will at least try to patch things up before graduation, just, to and things like that. I like the friendship developing between Kyle and Matty. I think that's very good as well. I definitely like seeing that. And I like that we did get some development on Val. We don't know where she is. That she's supposed to return, and we don't know where she is. So I really feel something's going on with Val. We don't know where she is. That's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening with that. But that's basically my review. Hope you enjoy. Overall, guys, by far best episode of the season. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, one of the best episodes of Awkward of all time. And again, it was a very powerful episode, a very great message, and I think it's really one of those times where I think anyone can relate to it. The last time they really did a message where I think anyone can relate to it, because a lot of the seasons have been like, they're seniors, you can't really relate to unless you're a senior. The last time they really did that was when Jenna was trying to find herself in season 3. That was the last time they really did something as deep as this, and I thought they handled it very, very well, and I definitely really enjoyed it. And I think this episode was right up there with Who Do You Want to Be, because let's face it, who do I Want to Be is probably the best episode of Awkward ever, probably the best episode they have ever done, and this was right up there, very much like that episode, and I definitely really love that. This is why I love the show. It's not afraid to get deep. It is a fun show at times, but when you have episodes like this and less episodes like last week that was just a fun episode, and I don't care when the show does fun episodes. I think it's fine that they do fun episodes, but I do like it when they try to get deep and when they try to touch upon subjects that are very important, and I think this is one of those great examples of Awkward not being afraid to touch upon a big subject, not being afraid to, not being afraid to get a bit emotional, not being afraid to address some issues that maybe some shows might not, and that's really why I love Awkward. But that's basically my review. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Like I said, best episode of the season, and we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for the series premiere of Scream Queens, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.